Out at the top of the straight, down to the judge and 2 laps of the track. Carnegie Boy, the inside runner here. No Fibbin will line up next to it with Rompin' Guy. Carl Rudolph, King Canute. Franco Vogue wins a fair, and Society Seeker completing the front row. Second row, Matt Noon, Sheba's Mate and Roses to Spare. Approaching the dispatch point now for the first. Carnegie Boys galloped. Green lights up though, and they're off and racing in the first here at Moonee Valley. Coming away well towards the centre was Carl Rudolph. He'll lead settling down. Trying to go with him King Canute in the early stages, and wider out Franco Vogue. Being trapped 3 wide around that first turn. Just sitting in behind them then came Rompin' Guy. On his outside is Roses to Spare. They're followed by further back on the inside came No Fibbin. Hooking out 3 wide there going forward is Sheba's Mate as they head into the back the first time. In behind them Matt Noon, followed by Windsor Fair. Back second last is Carnegie Boy, and last of all is Society Seeker. Along the back they go the first time, and the leader is King Canute. By about 3 metres, over on the outside, Sheba's Mates moved to second. Third, the leaders back came Carl Rudolph. In the 1x1 is Franco Vogue. 3 back the rails was Rompin' Guy. They're followed by Roses to Spare in the running line. Further back was No Fibbin on the inside, followed by Matt Noon on his outside. Then Carnegie Boy from Windsor Fair, and last of all as they come off the back was Society Seeker. Around the turn they'll face the bell this time, and the leader is King Canute, leading them into the straight by 5 metres clear. Sheba's Mate is second the outside. Carl Rudolph the leader's back. 1x1 Franco Vogue, followed by Rompin' Guy on the inside. Then Roses to Spare in the running line, followed by No Fibbin. On his outside there is Matt Noon as they head past the judge with a lap to go, 900 metres out. Carnegie Boys back towards the rear along with Windsor Fella, and last of all is Society Seeker. Into the last lap they head, 800 metres out, and the leader is King Canute by 3 or 4 metres. Sheba's Mate is second the outside. The leader's back is Carl Rudolph. Then came Franco Vogue on the outside, followed by Rompin' Guy the rails. Starting to go forward was Roses to Spare. Back in the centre was Matt Noon, followed by Windsor Fella. They're followed by No Fibbin. Back towards the rear with Society Seeker, and last of all now is Carnegie Boy. 400 metres out in the first, and King Canute by 2 metres in front. Trying hard Franco Vogue on the outside. They're followed by Carl Rudolph. He'll need a run. In behind them then came Matt Noon, and wider still was Roses to Spare winding up. They're about to swing the home turn, and King Canute's in front, about to be joined by Franco Vogue on the outside. Coming at them 3 wide, Matt Noon and Roses to Spare out very wide on the track, storming home. Roses to Spare and Matt Noon trying to go with it. It's Roses to Spare on the outside. Matt Noon pulling out plenty. Matt Noon just in front, and Matt Noon wins the first from Roses to Spare. Third placing might have gone to Carl Rudolph in the centre, just in front of Franco Vogue. In behind them then came Carnegie Boy. Further back then was King Canute who knocked up. They're followed by Windsor Fella, No Fibbin. In behind them Sheba's Mate, Rompin' Guy, and last in was Society Seeker. Number 9, Matt Noon, is the winner of the first event on the program. Pulled out plenty when challenged by Roses to Spare halfway up the straight. Matt Noon, the driver Chris Alford, getting plenty out of this one and has gone home too well to score. Roses to Spare look the immediate danger. Winner of the first race on the program, number 9, Matt Noon. Matt Noon, owned by G.A. Noonan, is a bay or brown gelding 3 years by Romantic Chris from Kentucky Pet. Winner trained by S.T. Archer at Kilmore and driven by Chris Alford. Second placing to 11 Roses to Spare by Lou Mitchell from Lady Danette. Trained by Bob Knight at Kilmore, driven by Scott Stewart. And third in to number 4, Carl Rudolph by Gypsy Light from Wachaba. Trained by Peter Ward at Melton and also driven by Peter Ward. 9-11-4 on the first. Pulled towards the mobile. 1940 metres the journey of the Lomond 2-year-old stakes. Top of the straight start, down to the judge and 2 laps of the track. See Goddess as our inside runner here with Salazar. Magic Shore in 3, No Name Brand 4. Hilarious Image 5. Tiastra's Knockout in 6, Zodiac Dancer 7. Hazel Daphne the outside of the front row. Kev's Choice and Reborn, they're approaching the dispatch point, all set for a start, and they're racing in the second. Towards the centre, No Name Brand showed good pace out of the machine, with Hilarious Image going with it early. Just in behind them, Hazel Daphne angling for the sit early. And as they go past the judge with 2 laps to go, taking over in front is Hilarious Image. In second placing on the leader's back is No Name Brand. This leaves Hazel Daphne without cover. Salazar is in the 1x1. Sea Goddess getting up along the inside. Trapped out 3 wide is Magic Shore in the early stages. Hunting up in the centre, Reborn. They're followed by, back on the rails came Kev's Choice. On his outside is Zodiac Dancer. And last of all is the Astra's Knockout. Down the back straight they go the first time, and Hilarious Image is the leader. In second placing on the outside is Salazar within 2 metres. Third, the leader's back came No Name Brand. 1x1 now is Hazel Daphne. They're followed by, in behind them, Sea Goddess 3 back the rails. On the outside then is Reborn, covering up the rails, Kev's Choice. They're followed by, further back on the outside came Magic Shore, who's eased back to third last. Back on the inside then, as they come round into the straight, was the Astra's Knockout. And last of all, bringing up the rear is Zodiac Dancer. Down to the bell now with 950 metres to go, and Hilarious Image is 6 metres in front. In second placing was No Name Brand. Over on the outside, Salazar. Sea Goddess the rails, followed by on the outside Hazel Daphne in the 1x1. In behind them then, as they head towards the back, was Reborn. They're followed by Kev's Choice on his inside. They're followed by the Asteroids Knockout. Over on the outside, Magic Shore is second last, and last of all is Zodiac Dancer. 700 metres from home as they head into the back, and the leader is Hilarious Image by about 7 metres. In second placing is No Name Brand clear now. In third placing came Salazar. They're followed by Hazel Daphne on the outside of Sea Goddess. Starting to move around the outside now is Magic Shore. Reborn the centre, followed by Kev's Choice, the Asteroids Knockout, and last of all is Zodiac Dancer. 300 metres to go prior to turning for home. Hilarious Image gets 10-15 metres in front. In second placing now, running on is Salazar. No Name Brand weakening, followed by Sea Goddess as they round the home turn though, and Hilarious Image is well clear. The danger might be Salazar knuckling down to its task on the outside. It's Hilarious Image in front. It's drifting to the centre of the track. Salazar's picking it up near the line. Salazar going home the better. Salazar scores a metre. In second placing, Hilarious Image. Third placing is tied, either No Name Brand or out wider Reborn. In behind them, Hazel Daphne, followed by Zodiac Dancer. Then Magic Shore in behind them there, followed by, further back then in the field to pull up, was Kev's Choice, and the Astra's Knockout was last of all. Number 2, Salazar, driven by Jay Nicholson, is first. Number 2, Salazar, the winner, driven by Jay Nicholson. Second placing has gone to number 5, Hilarious Image, driven by R Pace. And it's a close go for third. Those there were Reborn, No Name Brand. All honours with the winner, Salazar. It spotted Hilarious Image a good 10-15 metres at the top of the straight. Has been able to run it down and score going away, possibly by 2 or 3 metres on the line from Hilarious Image. As I said, it's a close one for third. 2, 5 and a photo after race number 2. Auburn's driven by R Pace, and third placing to 1 Sea Goddess by the Admiralty from Wilmer Apollo, driven by G Gregson. Winner scored by 2 metres, 11 metres between second and third, and a short half head between third and fourth. The gross time was 2:28. The last mile was completed in 2:4.1. The last half in 59.8. And it was a mile rate of 2:2.8 on race number 2. Race 3, the Big Jake Trotters Stakes. Race over 2380 metres, dispatch point in the back straight, around to the judge and 2 laps of the track. The square gate is being called up behind the gate. 2 feathers from the pole here with Daring Fame Myrmidon, Delaven Jr. Multiplier, the Auditor, and Becky Raider. Second row, I'm a Rowan, Miskatros, and Super Bye Bye. Oh, one skip there for a stride. Myrmidon galloped. Didn't interfere with anything, so they're off and racing in race number 3. Coming away smartly towards the inside there was Two Feathers, all lead settling down. Delaven Jr. and the Auditor showed pace as well in the early stages. Multiplier being eased back to 4th, followed by over on the outside then was Super Bye Bye. There followed by one off the fence came Daring Fame. On his inside is I'm a Rowan from Miskatros, and Becky Raider is last of all. Off the back they swing the first time, and the leader is Two Feathers by 6 metres in front. Delaven Jr. is second, the Auditor third. They're followed by one off the fence then as they move down the straight was Multiplier. Getting up along the inside, I'm a Rowan. Out wide are still Super Bye Bye, trapped 3 wide. In behind them, Daring Fame, followed by Becky Raider. And back at the rear of the field is Miskatros. They've headed past the judge with short of 2 laps to go now as they head into the back. And the leader is Two Feathers. In second placing, Delaven Jr., the leader's back. The Auditor's one off the fence, followed by on the rails, I'm a Rowan. Still out 3 wide is Super Bye Bye, the centre Multiplier. Back on the rails came Becky Raider. 3 metres away then was Daring Fame, and 3 away last of all was Miskatros. Down the back straight they head, midway between the far turns. At the lap and a half mark, the leader is Two Feathers by 6 metres over Delaven Jr. second. I'm a Rowan the rails third, followed by the Auditor on his outside cutting the breeze. Becky Raider the inside, Super Bye Bye still out 3 wide, Multiplier the centre. About 10 metres away then Daring Fame, and Miskatros is back at the rear. Off the back straight they swing once again at the 1200 metre mark, and the leader is Two Feathers by 6 metres over Delaven Jr. second. On the rails, I'm a Rowan is third from the Auditor to his outside. Then Multiplier the centre from Becky Raider the inside, and now it's 3 wide still Super Bye Bye. He's been there three wide throughout. In behind them, Daring Fame, and Miskatros is last of all. Down to hear the bell this time, 950 metres out, and the leader Two Feathers. It sails past the judge with a lap to go, with 5 metres clear on Delaven Jr. second. The Auditor is been cutting the breeze throughout. I'm a Rowan his inside. They're followed by Super Bye Bye on the outside. Back in the centre, needing a run is Multiplier at the moment from Becky Raider. Miskatros going forward from the rear, and last of all is Daring Fame. 600 metres to go as they head down the back. Two Feathers still by 6 metres in front. On the outside, the Auditor raising an effort there, followed by Delaven Jr. on the rails. Further back then, Super Bye Bye, followed by in the centre, Multiplier. They're followed by I'm a Rowan from Miskatros, Becky Raider, and last of all, Daring Fame. 400 out. Two Feathers by 3 metres in front of the Auditor second. Third is Delaven Jr. on the inside. Multiplier starting to come home well. They're followed by I'm a Rowan, Super Bye Bye losing ground, and Miskatros the outside. On the turn, Two Feathers. It's about 3 or 4 metres in front of the Auditor. Delaven Jr. looking for the way clear, and wider out Multiplier. Two Feathers 2 metres in front, but Multiplier's the danger. Multiplier quickly grabs the lead from Two Feathers and the Auditor, and Multiplier by 3 metres on the line. A good go for the Miners. Maybe right up along the inside, Delaven Jr. might have just grabbed second in front of Becky Raider, and in the centre the Auditor. They're followed by Two Feathers. In behind them, I'm a Rowan. Further back then came Miskatros, Super Bye Bye, and Daring Fame was last of all. And Myrmidon was the one pulled up. Stand by for placings. On race number 3, number 6 is in the frame, number 6 Multiplier. Driven by B. Gath. Here's the winner. 6 and a photo. It's a close photo for second and third. Those primarily in it are Becky Raider out wide, and Delaven Jr., which has got up along the inside. Number 6 Multiplier, the winner. Trained and driven by Brian Gaff, and the photo called for second and third to sort these ones out. Becky Raider out wide, Delaven Jr. back on the rails, and the Auditor close up in the centre. 6 and a photo after race number 3, the Big Jake Trotters Stakes. Race 4 here at Moonee Valley. Admiral Ginger will start from the pole here with Nice Trick next to it. Backhander Bradecker, it's Loganair on a side boy. Second row, Golden Conqueror, Laston, Highway Prospect. Coming up to the gate now. Swinging into the straight, approaching the dispatch point. All set now, ready, the green light comes up and they're off and racing. Towards the centre, Bradecker's being driven hard early, trying to hold it out. Backhander in the early stages from It's Loganair, but to the judge with 2 laps to go, and Bradecker crosses across and leads. In second placing was Backhander. It's Loganair, one off the fence. They're followed by him behind them as they head to the back. The first time was Admiral Ginger, one off the fence. Back on the inside, Day's Golden Conqueror. Trapped out wide, Nice Trick in the early stages going forward, followed by Alaston. Back in second last placing is On a Side Boy, and Highway Prospect brings up the rear. Down the back they head the first time. It's Bradecker in front, but moving to the leader's wheel now is Nice Trick on the outside to cut the breeze. Running third along the leader's back came Backhander. One off the fence was It's Loganair, followed by 3 back the rails was Golden Conqueror. Admiral Ginger's over on his outside from Alaston. In behind them, Highway Prospect. And now back to last of all is On a Side Boy. At the lap and a quarter mark, they'll straighten up for the bell this time. And the leader is Bradecker by 3 metres in front of Nice Trick, who's second. On the leader's back came Backhander. One by one, It's Loganair. They're followed by Golden Conqueror. On his outside is Admiral Ginger. Then came Alaston, followed by Highway Prospect. And back at the rear of the field is On a Side Boy. 900 metres to go as they sail past the judge and into the final lap. Bradecker is the leader by 3 metres. Nice Trick is second. On the leader's back is Backhander, followed by It's Loganair, one off the fence in the 1 by 1. Golden Conqueror 3 back the rails. They're followed by Admiral Ginger on the outside from Alaston. Highway Prospect second last, and last of all is On a Side Boy. To the back the final time, 600 metres out, and Bradecker is the leader by 3 metres. On Nice Trick, moving around them 3 wide, It's Loganair, and 4 wide, here comes Admiral Ginger joining in quickly. Backhand of the rails, in behind them, losing ground now, Nice Trick, being passed by Alaston. Well back out of it, Golden Conqueror. Further back then, Highway Prospect, and last of all is On a Side Boy. To the home turn, they're about to swing, and Bradecker is the leader by 4 metres. Admiral Ginger is trying hard in second placing. Then came Backhander and It's Loganair, but into the straight, Bradecker gets 5 metres in front. Trying hard in second placing now is Admiral Ginger, laying down the gauntlet on the outside. Bradecker getting tired. Admiral Ginger's trying to get to it. Bradecker's pulling out plenty though, and Bradecker scores by 2 metres. Admiral Ginger was second. Getting up for third on the outside there was Highway Prospect in front of Golden Conqueror. In behind them, It's Loganair. Then further back came Backhander. Wider out on the track to finish was On a Side Boy. Alaston was one of the last in with Nice Trick. 6, 1 and 11 the numbers. Number 6, Bradecker, driven by Scott Stewart, as the winner. Second placing has gone to 1 Admiral Ginger, driven by Andrew Peace. And third to number 11, Highway Prospect, driven by Jay Nicholson. Placings official on the 4th event, the Diarma Stakes, number 6, Bradecker. Trained by Bob Knight, driven by Scott Stewart as first. Second to 1, Admiral Ginger, Andrew Peace. And third to 11, Highway Prospect, driven by Jay Nicholson. Pulled out plenty in the straight, Bradecker. For a stride or two with 100 metres to go, Admiral Ginger looked a chance, but Bradecker, the driver Scott Stewart, getting plenty out of it. And it's won possibly by about 2 metres on the line over Admiral Ginger, with Highway Prospect third, 6, 1, 11. Officially fourth has gone to 9, Golden Conqueror, driven by R. Hargraves, and fifth in was number 4, Backhander, driven by Tom Marr. 6, 1.5, 8 metres between second and third. Gross time was 2:27. The last mile completed in 2:3.6. The last half in 59.5, and that's a mile rate of 2:1.9. Winner of the 4th race on the program, number 6, Bradecker. Bradecker is owned by Thomas J. Brown and is a gelding 3 years by Torado Hanover from Charming Light. Trained by Bob Knight at Kilmore and driven by Scott Stewart. Second placing going to One Admiral Ginger by Admiral Halsey from Alphakari. Trained by Don Peace, driven by Andrew Peace, Moonee Valley. Runners being called up behind the machine. Dispatch point in the back straight. Round to the judge and 2 laps of the track. 2380 metres the journey. 2 laps and 580 metres. Perfect Lad is drawn on the inside here with Carl Over, Academy Bay, Denby Preneur. It's Stallone in 5. We have On Track, who's back from the gate slightly at the moment. Star the latest with Collar Action. Second row, Reese John, along with Elmore Feller and Glad Eye. Approaching the dispatch point in the back straight. Race number 5 coming up here at Moonee Valley. Set for a start. Ready, green light comes up and they're off and racing this time. Perfect Lad along with Academy Bay with the best 2 to leave the machine, and out wide are On Track trying to head them off in the early stages. As they come off the back the first time, it'll be On Track taking over in front. Academy Bay moves to second. Perfect Lad is third the rails. One off the fence is It's Stallone. Getting up along the inside, Reese John from Collar Action. They're followed by Carl Over. The next pair back are Elmore Feller over on the outside there of Glad Eye. Second last is Star the latest, and last of all is Denby Preneur. Into the straight they come the first time. Up for 2 laps to go, and the leader is On Track. In second placing came Academy Bay, the leader's back. One off the fence now is Perfect Lad without cover. On the 3 back on the rails then came Reese John. Back in the centre then is It's Stallone, as working around them 3 wide now is Elmore Feller. They're followed by Collar Action, Star the latest the rails. Back third last in the event is Carl Over. Second last Glad Eye, and last of all is Denby Preneur. A lap and 3/4 to go. They head into the back, and the leader is On Track at the 1600 metre mark by a metre in front of Elmore Feller, who's up on the outside in second placing now. Academy Bay, the leader's back. Perfect Lad 1 by 1. 3 back the rails, Reese John, followed by It's Stallone over in the running line. Then came back on the inside Star the latest from over on the outside there is Collar Action. In behind them then as they work off the back once again was Carl Over. Then further back Denby Preneur, and last of all is Glad Eye. They swing the home turn this time for the bell, and the leader On Track by a metre. Elmore Feller is up on the outside second. Academy Bay behind the leader third, and Perfect Lad in the 1 by 1. Reese John the inside of It's Stallone. The next pair back are Collar Action over on the outside of Denby Preneur the rails. They're followed by Carl Over, and Glad Eyes back at the rear. 900 metres to go as they go past the judge with the bell sounding, and the leader is On Track a metre in front. In second placing is Elmore Feller up on the outside. Third placing Academy Bay locked away from Perfect Lad the outside. Then Reese John followed by It's Stallone. Further back was Star the latest. Now the favourite going forward, 3 wide Collar Action from the rear. Glad Eyes going with it, followed by Carl Over, and Denby Preneur back at the rear. Down the back they head, 500 metres out, and the leader is On Track, about to be joined in the centre by Elmore Feller. Perfect Lads come out 3 wide to make a line of 3. In behind them then Academy Bay, Collar Action working around them. Then at the head of the rest was It's Stallone. Winding up from a long way back was Glad Eye. Then Star the latest, Carl Over, and last of all Denby Preneur. They're about to round the home turn, and On Track's being collared now by on the outside Elmore Feller. It's On Track fighting back though with on the outside Elmore Feller as they round the home turn. Then further back Academy Bay hooked out wide in the straight, and Elmore Feller's got the lead by a metre. On Track battling away, and further back then came Academy Bay. It's on the outside, Elmore Feller in front, coming again On Track, but Elmore Feller will win. Elmore Feller by a metre on the line. In second placing On Track. Third placing maybe Carl Over out wide from Star the latest. In behind them then came Denby Preneur, who made ground at the end. They're followed by Reese John. In behind them It's Stallone, followed by Glad Eye, Perfect Lad, and Collar Action. Stand by for placings. 10, 6, and a photo. Number 10, Elmore Feller. Good effort. Number 10, Elmore Feller, driven by Jay Caldo, is the winner. Second placing going to number 6, On Track, which has battled on well in the home straight, driven by Andrew Peace. And a photo for third. Those primarily there are Carl Over, And Star the Latest may have been the other one there. 10, 6 and a photo. Ken Elmore fella, owned by F. Custers, GJ Finn, EJ Soanes and CK Lawrence. The winner, a black gelding 4 years by Bester Fella from Karen Gay, trained by JR Cakebread at Elmore and driven by J. Caldo. Second placing to number 6 On Track by New York Motoring from Bonjour Alabar, trained by Don Peace at Whittlesea, driven by Andrew Peace, and third to 2 Carlover by Hilarious Way from Karelia, trained by W. Neil Cannard at Bendigo and driven by T. Cannard. 10, 6, 2, official on race number 5. Dispatch point in the back straight, around to the judge and 2 laps of the track. Pole marker here, Moolah Star, Arcturo next to it with Vance Rana. Duga Delurga, Lord Abbey, Plain Chip and Scoreless on the front row. Second row, Personality Pete, Docker Charlie and Avant Garde. Race 6, the Opalite Stakes. Approaching the dispatch point in the back straight. Race 6 from the Valley here tonight. All pacing cleanly. Set for a start. Ready, green light up, off and racing this time. Arcturo was one of the best to begin with, showing pace Lord Abbey out wider. Lord Abbey will head them off early from Arcturo, who settles second. Plain Chip trapped a little wide in the early stages, working forward, followed by Vance Rana. Back on the fence then was Moolah Star. One off the fence, Personality Pete. Duga Delurga easing back. They're followed by him. Behind them came Avant Garde. And the last pair, Docker Charlie, and on its outside, Scoreless. Into the straight they swing the first time. And the leader now is Plain Chip. The favourite takes over in front. In second placing is Lord Abbey. Third, the rails came Arcturo. One off the fence is Vance Rana. Then Moolah Star over on the inside of Personality Pete, followed by Avant Garde, Duga Delurga. Second last in the event is Scoreless, and last of all on the rails was Docker Charlie. Out of the straight they swing at the lap and 3/4 mark, 1,700 metres out, and the leader is Plain Chip now by 5 metres. In second placing the leaders back came Lord Abbey. Also on the rails is Arcturo. One off the fence, Vance Rana. In behind them, Moolah Star, 4 back the rails. On its outside is Personality Pete. The next pair back are Avant Garde, the inside of Duga Delurga. Then about 3 or 4 metres away over on the outside is Scoreless, with Docker Charlie at the rear. Up towards the 1,300 metre mark they stride, and the leader is Plain Chip at the lap and 1/4 mark. In second placing came Lord Abbey. Over on the outside, Arcturo, followed by on the inside Moolah Star. Then Duga Delurga going forward from Vance Rana. In behind them, Personality Pete from Avant Garde. Second last, Scoreless, and last of all is Docker Charlie. Into the straight they swing this time, and they'll face the bell, and the leader Plain Chip. Duga Delurga's worked around them to work up to the leader's wheel to be second. Third, the leaders back came Lord Abbey. This leaves Arcturo 1 by 1. In behind them, Moolah Star, followed by Vance Rana in the running line. Back on the fence was Avant Garde from Personality Pete, Scoreless, and last of all is Docker Charlie. They've had the bell. They head into the back the last time, 850 metres out, and the leader is Plain Chip by 3 metres. Second placing Duga Delurga the outside. The leader's back is Lord Abbey, followed by Moolah Star. Over on the outside, Vance Rana. Then in behind them came Arcturo, followed by Scoreless. Further back then in the field came Avant Garde from Personality Pete, and last of all Docker Charlie down the back the last time, and it's Plain Chip in front at the 450 metre mark. In second placing Duga Delurga, Lord Abbey behind them, followed by over on the outside Scoreless coming into it stylishly. They're followed by Personality Pete tracking him up. Arcturo's losing ground with Moolah Star, and Vance Rana from a long way back. They're about to swing the home turn, and Plain Chip at the 300 is 3 metres in front of Scoreless second. Lord Abbey looking for the way out, followed by Avant Garde and Personality Pete. In the straight though, Plain Chip's in front. Lord Abbey's trying to get up along the inside and wider out Scoreless. Plain Chip in front. Lord Abbey getting right up along the inside. They hit the line, and Plain Chip's 1 ahead on the line. Lord Abbey was second. Third